Friend, let me ask you something. Have you ever found loose change in your car seat, or maybe pulled a quarter out of an old coat pocket and thought, this isn't worth much, right? Well, what if I told you that one of those humble quarters could be worth a life-changing amount of money? Yes, you heard me right. One of the most unexpected coins in your pocket change, the 2008 Hawaii quarter, has shown up in the rare coin market selling for close to $1 million. Now hold on. Before you run to your coin jar, stay with me, because we're going to uncover exactly why this coin is worth so much, how to spot the valuable ones, and what makes your coin special. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll be checking every single quarter you come across from now on. Let's rewind the clock to 2008, the final year of the 50-state quarters program. It was a series launched in 1999 by the U.S. Mint, releasing 5 quarters each year, one for every state in the order they joined. The Union, and the final state in that 10-year journey? Hawaii. And now the Hawaii quarter, minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, featured the great King Kamehameha I, pointing toward the 8 Hawaiian islands. That quarter wasn't just beautiful, it was historic. It celebrated the rich culture of Hawaii and capped off a program that brought coin collecting to everyday Americans, but buried within the mass production of the Denver minted versions, something extraordinary happened. A small handful of quarters slipped through with mysterious, rare errors or anomalies that made them incredibly valuable, and here's the kicker, most people still don't know what to look for. Well, you're about to find out. But let me warn you, it's not always visible to the untrained eye. Some collectors missed it for years, only to discover later they'd given away a fortune in a coin flip. We'll talk about those key features next, and how you can check your own quarters right now. Let's get down to brass tacks. The reason some 2008 Hawaii quarters are selling for such massive prices has everything to do with rarity, condition, and errors. Some 2008 quarters were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were printed on a metal blank meant for a different coin, like a nickel or dime. Others show double striking, or the design appears twice, overlapping. Then there's the off-center strike, where the coin is stamped too far left or right, and then you've got the holy grail, the die cap error, where a coin is struck and then sticks to the die, causing ghost-like impressions and distorted detail on the next coins it strikes. These are beyond rare. Most coins in your pocket are what collectors call circulated. They've been touched, used, scratched, but a handful of 2008 Hawaii quarters remain in pristine mint state, 67, 68, even 69 condition. That's where things get wild. Graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, these near-perfect specimens are almost flawless. And perfection? It's expensive. We're talking 6-figure sales at major coin auctions, and in rare cases, for a flawless die error, prices climbing to and even above $1 million. You might be thinking, okay, this sounds rare, but how do I know if my Hawaii quarter is one of the good ones? Stick with me. Next up, we're diving into the exact steps to check your coin's value and what details you must inspect before selling it, or worse, spending it. Alright, time to put your detective hat on and make sure your coin has a D on the right side of Washington's ponytail. That's the Denver Mint. Is it shiny? No nicks or scratches? Use a magnifying glass, preferably 10x, and check for luster and detail. Look at the King's cloak, the islands. Are they sharp, double images around the letters or King Kamehameha off-center stamping? Look for blank space at the edge, bizarre textures, cracks, or bubbles in the metal, ghost-like distortions, signs of die caps or strike-throughs. Standard quarters should weigh 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, it could be a wrong planchet error. Don't trust your own eyes only. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS. If it comes back MS68 with an error, congratulations, you're sitting on a potential coin market legend, and the answer might shock you, because not only have people sold them, but they did it without even knowing what they had until it was almost too late. I'll tell you the story of one lucky man next, and what he did right that made him a millionaire. Let's talk about Jim, a retired railroad worker from Colorado. He had a coin jar sitting in his garage for years. One day, on a whim, he dumped it out, saw a shiny Hawaii quarter, and remembered reading something online that he sent it in for grading. Mint state 68, double die reverse. Valued at over $950,000. He didn't sell it right away. He waited for an auction, and when it hit the block, coin dealers from across the country fought over it. Final bid? $1.02 million. Then there's Marty, a Vietnam vet who picked one up at a flea market for 50 cents. He thought it looked strange. The king's face had a ghost image. Turns out it was a rare strike-through grease error. That one fetched over $625,000 after grading. These aren't stories from decades ago, they happened in the past few years. Well, you might be holding onto one of these $1 million quarters right now. And the next part of this video might just change how you handle coins forever. We're about to talk about where to find these coins, and how to sell them the smart way: old coin jars, inherited collections, or coins tucked in books, estate sales, flea markets, and yard sales. Coin rolls from your local bank. Yes, some collectors do what's called coin roll hunting, sorting through $500 boxes of quarters for treasures. Do not rush to a pawn shop or random buyer online. Instead, get it professionally graded research. Recent auction results at heritage auctions or Stacksbowers. Join a coin collecting forum or local club. These communities are goldmines of advice. Know your coin's worth before negotiating. Knowledge is your greatest asset. We live in a time where most people overlook small things. But you now know that something as ordinary as a 25-cent coin could be your ticket to a whole new life. But it's not just about luck. It's about looking closely, paying attention, and seizing the moment. So go ahead. Check your drawers, your pockets, your glove box. That 2008 Hawaii quarter you've been ignoring might just be the key to that dream cabin, that sports car, that stress-free retirement you've always wanted. And if you find one, don't forget to come back and tell your story, because someone out there, just like you, is still searching. Thanks for watching. And remember, fortune doesn't always knock. Sometimes, it jingles in your pocket. Hey there, folks. If you're between the ages of 30 and 70 and you've ever tossed your change in a coffee can or a kitchen drawer, you might want to dig through it right now. Because sitting quietly among those pennies and nickels could be a coin worth over $1 million. That's right. A simple 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter, the one with the P mint mark that most people use for laundry or leave under their car seat, could be worth a staggering $1.20 million. How did a modern quarter become that valuable? What makes it so special? And more importantly, how do you know if you're holding one of these treasures in your hand? Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal might just change your life. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. But first, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, a man in Indiana, let's call him Joe, was cleaning out his garage. He had a habit of tossing spare change into an old cigar box. Nothing fancy. Just random coins from fast food runs and coffee stops. That box sat there for nearly a decade. One rainy Sunday afternoon, with nothing better to do, Joe started sorting through it. He came across a shiny 2017 quarter with a building on the back. It caught his eye, not because it looked old, but because the details seemed too sharp. Almost like it had never been touched. Turns out, that little piece of metal was no ordinary quarter. It was a rare 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter with an ultra-rare minting error, and it sold at auction for over $1 million. Imagine that. A man finds a fortune in a pile of pocket change. Now, here's the part where things get interesting. The Frederick Douglass quarter was part of the America the Beautiful series, minted in 2017. It was produced by the Philadelphia Mint, which is what the P mark stands for. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an image of Frederick Douglass seated at a writing desk in front of his Washington, D.C. home. It's a powerful tribute to a man who escaped slavery and became one of the greatest voices for freedom and civil rights in American history. It's an absolutely stunning design, but here's what most people don't realize: not all of these quarters are created equal. Some have unique characteristics, rare mint errors, doubled dies, misalignments, that make them insanely valuable. And this brings us to what really matters: that $1.2 million valuation isn't just about age or condition. It's about extreme scarcity due to minting anomalies. We're talking about double die outbursts where Douglass's face looks ghosted or shadowed. We're talking about mistruck coins where the design is off-center. Some even show die cracks that split through the lettering like a vein in metal. One of the most valuable variants was struck slightly off-center with doubling around the word Liberty and on Douglass's profile. This wasn't caught at the mint, and only a few dozen are believed to exist. Most of them are still out there, undiscovered, sitting in jars, drawers, or forgotten piles of change. Check for doubling in the word Liberty, especially around the L and I. Look closely at the date, 2017. If the numbers appear thick, ghosted, or slightly overlapped, that's a good sign. That P must be clear and well-defined. If it looks doubled or squashed, you might have a valuable error. Some of these rare coins have a proof-like finish even though they weren't meant to. A sharp strike and reflective surface are worth noting. Don't forget to check the rim. If it's thicker on one side or missing detail, that might be a misstrike. One coin with multiple errors has already sold at auction for $1.2 million. But experts believe there are more, many more. It comes down to three key things: scarcity, story, and speculation. These error coins weren't intentionally made. They're freak accidents. And collectors love accidents, especially when they're rare. A coin honoring Frederick Douglass, one of America's greatest historical figures, carries emotional and cultural weight. That matters. As more collectors enter the market and rare coins become harder to find, the value climbs. What sold for $50,000 last year could be worth 10 times that tomorrow, and if that sounds crazy, remember that a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar once sold for over $10 million. The Frederick Douglass quarter isn't the only 2017 coin making waves. The Ellis Island and Ozark Riverways quarters from the same series have seen sharp spikes in value too, especially those with die breaks, planchet errors, and off-center strikes. If you're a casual collector, it's time to stop tossing these into the coin star. These quarters could be the modern gold rush. But only if you know what to look for. Hang on, because in the next part, I'll reveal how you can get your coin authenticated, and what to avoid if you're thinking about selling. You can't just eyeball $1 million coin and expect to sell it on eBay. You need professional grading. If you think you have a valuable Frederick Douglass quarter, your first step is to contact a reputable grading service. PCGS or NGC are your go-to options. They'll examine your coin under microscopes, check for die markers, and grade it on a 70-point scale. A grade of MS67 or higher, especially with a known error, is your golden ticket. Now, beware the scammers. There are online forums full of people making outrageous claims. Don't fall for the hype. Use experts. Do it right, but let's keep going. Because what I'm about to share could help you spot the next $1 million penny too. This Frederick Douglass quarter is more than just a lucky find. It's part of a growing trend. Everyday Americans are realizing their pocket change might be worth a fortune. It's about knowledge. When you know what to look for, you stack the odds in your favor. It's also about legacy. These coins aren't just monetary assets. They carry history. They connect generations. And in the right hands, they can change lives. What would you do if you found one? Pay off the mortgage? Travel the world? Set your grandkids up for life. You could be one coin away from changing everything. And here's the twist: there are rumors of another Frederick Douglass quarter, struck on a foreign planchet, that hasn't surfaced yet. If that coin is found, experts estimate it could fetch up to $2 million. So before you go to bed tonight, take a few minutes. Pull out that change jar. Look through those quarters. You never know what treasure might be waiting for you, and if you found this video helpful, subscribe and stick around. Because next time, I'll be revealing the story behind a 1982 penny that's now worth over $900,000. You won't believe what makes it so rare. Hey there, welcome back to the channel where pocket change turns into pure gold. I mean real treasure, folks. Today we're diving into a coin that could literally rewrite your retirement plan. That's right, the 2015 Homestead quarter with the P Mint mark. You might have one. It might be lying in a jar by your nightstand or hiding in the cup holder of your truck, but here's the kicker: one of these quarters is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Now before you rush off to dig through your sock drawer, you're gonna want to hear the full story, because it's not just about the year or the mint mark. There's a whole world of detail behind this rare gem. And somewhere along the way, I'll also share a personal moment that connects directly to this humble little coin. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So grab your coffee or your favorite chair, and let's journey into the story of the $1 million Homestead quarter. Let's rewind the clock to 2015. The U.S. Mint launched the America the Beautiful Quarters program, honoring national parks and landmarks. The Homestead National Monument in Nebraska was chosen as the first design of that year. The quarter features a charming little house, a pump for water, and 2 ears of corn. Simple, yes, but full of meaning. It represents the early days of American homesteaders and the grit they carried into untamed land. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for coins marked with a tiny P, struck millions of these quarters. But out of those millions, only a tiny handful were struck with something special. Something that was never supposed to happen, and that little something turned a 25-cent piece into a $1.3 million artifact. In the world of coin collecting, perfection is not always the goal. Sometimes it's the imperfections that send collectors into a frenzy. The 2015 P Homestead quarter has several varieties, and some of them are loaded with errors, double dies, die clashes, extra pumps, and even ghostly outlines of features that shouldn't be there. But there's one rare error that collectors whisper about like it's the stuff of legend. A certain batch was struck with a double die obverse and reverse. This means both sides of the coin show doubling, visible to the naked eye. And when a coin has an error on both sides and still manages to pass inspection at the mint, that's like catching lightning in a bottle. One of these rare quarters was authenticated, graded, and sold for over $1.3 million. A handful of coins made it out before the mint realized the mistake. Could one be in your change right now? But before we get to how to spot it, let's talk about value. And I've got a story to share that might just change the way you look at every coin in your pocket. About 5 years ago, I was helping my father clear out his old garage. Dust everywhere, boxes stacked high with forgotten tools, baseball cards, and a coffee tin full of change. You know the kind, full of pennies stuck together, nickels tarnished with time, and the occasional quarter. He told me to toss it out. Said it was just junk, but something made me hold on to it. I brought it home and, over a few nights, started going through those coins. Not because I thought I'd strike it rich, I just wanted to connect with the past. Each coin had a year, a story. Some went back to the 1940s. Others from states I'd never even visited, and in that moment, I realized something. These coins weren't just money. They were time machines. They held memories, history, and yes, a little bit of mystery. That garage tin didn't have $1 million coin in it, but it gave me the bug. The collector's curiosity. And I've been studying coins ever since. That's why I'm here, sharing this with you, because that Homestead quarter? It's real. It's out there. And you deserve to know how to spot it. So let's get technical, but not complicated. Here's what to look for if you want to identify the rare 2015 P Homestead quarter worth over $1 million. First, the mint mark. You'll find the small letter P on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That stands for Philadelphia. Next, and this is where it gets juicy, look closely at the reverse, the Homestead design. You want to look at the pump handle and the windows of the house die. In the ultra-rare versions, you'll see a double die effect. That means features look like they've been stamped twice. The water pump may appear to have an extra handle, or the window frames might look shadowed or distorted. Some versions have die clashes, where parts of the design from the opposite side of the coin show faintly where they shouldn't. Like a ghost image peeking through the side with Washington's face. Look at the word Liberty, and especially the date. A true double die will show slight overlapping lines, giving the text a shadow effect. Now here's the catch, you won't always see this with the naked eye. Some require a magnifier. Others are so crisp, they practically pop off the metal. The key is patience, careful inspection, and knowing what you're holding. There are still a few of these known coins unaccounted for. Well, rarity is only part of the equation. Demand drives price, and right now the collector market is booming. Baby boomers and Gen Zers alike are returning to their childhood passions, coin collecting being one of them. Add to that the rise of online auctions, viral TikTok and YouTube videos bringing attention to rare coins, and we've got a perfect storm. The last known 2015 P Homestead double die specimen was graded MS68, which is nearly perfect. Combine that with its ultra-low population count and historical significance, and suddenly, a 25-cent coin became a millionaire's dream, and we haven't even seen the ceiling yet. Experts believe this coin could hit $2 million within the next 5 years, but here's the cliffhanger, there might be more than one version of this error. Some believe a second variation is still out there, completely undocumented. If that's true, and you're the one who finds it, you won't just be rich, you'll be part of coin history. Start with what you have. Grab your change jar. Check the console in your car. Ask your kids or grandkids if they have any 2015 quarters. Make it a family treasure hunt. Turn it into something fun and maybe life-changing. Buy a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Study the details. Familiarize yourself with what normal looks like, so you can spot what's not. You don't need to be an expert to find treasure. Just curious. Just careful, there are forums, Facebook groups, coin shows, and YouTube channels like this one dedicated to helping people just like you. And remember, professional grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and appraise your coin. But you have to make the first move, and if you do find something rare, don't sit on it. The coin market is hot now, and timing matters. So here we are. You started this video with a story about a 2015 quarter, and now you know how that tiny piece of metal could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a beachfront condo, or even your mortgage. This isn't just a coin story. It's about opportunity. It's about remembering that sometimes the universe hides treasure in plain sight, and all you have to do is look a little closer. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, like, and share it with a fellow treasure hunter. And drop a comment below if you've ever found something. Hey fellas, before you toss that spare change into the coffee can or let it slip through your fingers at the gas station, you might want to stop and take a second look. Because hidden in that pile of quarters could be something absolutely life-changing. We're not talking about just a rare coin here and there. We're talking about a 1999 Connecticut quarter with a little P mint mark that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. 25 cents. Worth more than a luxury yacht. Now, if that caught your attention, you're going to want to stick around. Because today, we're diving deep into what makes this specific coin so valuable, how you can tell if you have one, and why it's making collectors sweat with excitement. Plus, I'll share a real story about a man who stumbled across a fortune in his junk drawer. You don't want to miss that, but before we get into the fine details, let's take a little trip back to 1999. Because that's where the story really begins. 1999 wasn't just the year of Y2K panic and boy bands topping the charts. It was also the year the United States Mint kicked off something revolutionary, the 50-state quarters program. It was a brilliant idea, really. 50 quarters, one for each state, released over 10 years. Connecticut was the last quarter released that inaugural year, and it quickly became one of the most visually striking designs. On its reverse, you've got the Charter oak tree. Not just any old tree, though. This oak was a symbol of defiance, freedom, and Connecticut's colonial history. Legend says the state's royal charter was hidden in that tree to keep it from being seized by the British. That coin tells a story, and stories are part of what make rare coins so desirable. But here's the twist: the story doesn't end with the tree. In fact, it's just getting started, because among the millions minted in Philadelphia with that little P on the front, just a few are unlike the rest. Now, you're probably thinking, millions were made, so what makes one of them worth over $1 million? Excellent question. It comes down to three things: error, condition, and rarity. Let's start with the error. Some of the Connecticut quarters from the Philadelphia Mint were struck with a rare misalignment during production. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, or even die cracks, small flaws that the average person might overlook but make collectors go absolutely wild. Then there's condition. If your quarter's been through the car wash a dozen times, don't expect much. But if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, maybe even graded by a professional with a near-perfect score, now you're talking serious money. Some examples of these flawless coins have fetched offers in the six-figure range, and the best of the best? They've soared past $1.6 million at private auctions. Now imagine this. You're cleaning out the garage one Saturday morning. You open a box labeled old junk and find a dusty coin folder from the late 90s. You crack it open, and there it is. A 1999 P Connecticut quarter. Looks shiny. Looks flawless. Could it be the one? Hold that thought, because we're going to get into what happened to a man from Pennsylvania who lived that exact story. Meet Jerry. 62 years old, retired auto mechanic, lives just outside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Jerry collected coins as a hobby back in the day but hadn't thought much of it in decades. Then, one rainy afternoon, his wife told him to clear out the basement. That's when he found his old coin folder inside? A 1999 Connecticut quarter with a P mint mark that looked untouched. Just out of curiosity, he took it to a coin shop downtown. The owner's eyes lit up. He immediately sent it for grading, and a few weeks later, bam! MS-69. Just a single point away from perfection, but here's where it gets wild. A private collector, big into state quarters, offered Jerry $1.6 million for it. You better believe Jerry took the deal. Paid off his house. Bought his dream truck. Took his grandkids to Disney. All from a coin he forgot he even had. Start by flipping it over. You should see the charter oak tree on the reverse side. Then check the front, look just beneath the date. If there's a small P for Philadelphia, you're on the right track, now hold it under good light. Do you see any doubling around the lettering? That's called a double die. Any odd crack lines running through the image? That might be a die crack. If the image looks shifted or off-center, jackpot, those are all high demand errors. Condition matters more than anything. If it's been sitting in a coin folder untouched since '99, your odds are even better. And if you really think you found something special, get it professionally graded. It's worth every penny. Now here's a nightmare scenario. What if you had one of these rare quarters and spent it without even realizing it? What if it's already out there, in someone's glove box, or inside a vending machine, waiting to be discovered? Don't go anywhere, we're going to talk about where these quarters are likely hiding right now, and if you're thinking the odds are too slim, think again. Because here's the truth, many of these valuable quarters are still in circulation. People use them every day without knowing what they're holding. Some are tucked away in old collections, sock drawers, coin jars, or even old birthday cards from grandma, your own change jar or coin tray in the car, old savings boxes or souvenir coin folders, garage sales, flea markets, and estate sales. Ask family members, especially those who saved coins in the 90s. Local coin shops and online forums can also give clues. Some dealers keep a wish list of coins they're willing to pay big money for. Check Facebook groups, Reddit forums, and eBay listings for similar coins and what they're going for. One guy found a Connecticut quarter in a bulk bag of coins he bought off Craigslist for $20. That one turned out to be a double die error, sold it for nearly $500,000. That coin could be sitting 5 feet away from you right now. So don't just hear this, act on it, because finding one of these rare coins isn't just about the money. It's about hope. Opportunity. It's about that spark of excitement, that treasure hunter inside every man, the part of you that believes that maybe, just maybe, your luck could change overnight. You don't need 1 million followers or $1 million job to build wealth. Sometimes, all it takes is a sharp eye and a little curiosity. This 1999p Connecticut quarter is a symbol of something bigger. A reminder that even the most ordinary things, spare change in your pocket, can hold extraordinary value. So here's your mission. When this video ends, I want you to grab that old coffee can of coins. Dig into the drawer. Call your dad. Check that jar on top of the fridge. Because somewhere out there, one of these 1999p Connecticut quarters is still waiting to be found. If you find one, or even think you did, drop a comment below. Let's build a community of treasure hunters. Hit that like button if you learned something new. Subscribe for more real stories and insider tips on rare coins that could change your life, because at the end of the day, it's not just about coins. It's about possibilities. It's about waking up tomorrow richer than you were today. Hey there, gentlemen. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at the loose change in your pocket or the dusty jar on the shelf and thought, just pennies and quarters, nothing special? Well, what if I told you that one of those seemingly ordinary coins, a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter with a small P mint mark, could be worth up to $1.7 million today? Yes, you heard that right. One coin. One quarter. One unbelievable treasure hiding in plain sight. And the best part? You might already have it, sitting quietly in a drawer or stashed away in an old coffee tin. Stick around, because this isn't just a coin story, this is a story about life-changing value, hidden opportunity, and a whole lot of money waiting to be discovered. And by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to turn that pocket change into real wealth. Let's rewind the clock for a moment. The year is 1999. Y2K fears are running wild, the internet is still dial-up, and America kicks off the 50-state quarters program. Every state gets its own unique quarter, released one after the other. Pennsylvania's quarter is second in line, right after Delaware. It features a statue representing the Commonwealth, the outline of the state, and a keystone, a nod to Pennsylvania being the Keystone State. Millions of these coins were minted. So what makes one of them worth $1.7 million today? Here's where it gets really interesting. Because not all coins are created equal, especially when it comes to the U.S. Mint. The 1999p Pennsylvania quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, that's what the P stands for. And now, the Philly Mint produced over 350 million of these coins. That's right, millions. But only a tiny, microscopic percentage have errors, unique characteristics, or pristine conditions that make collectors lose their minds and open their wallets. Where the date or lettering appears doubled, where the coin design is misaligned, where part of the coin's edge is missing, uncirculated or proof-like conditions, untouched by hands, graded nearly perfect, a certain ultra-rare double die with a near-perfect strike, that's become the holy grail for collectors. That exact coin sold at a private auction recently for $1.7 million. Let me tell you about Frank Mitchell from Ohio. Retired truck driver, just like many folks watching this video, Frank was going through his late brother's belongings when he stumbled upon a coin folder from 1999. Inside? A pristine 1999 Pennsylvania quarter. He almost spent it at the gas station. But curiosity got the better of him. He looked it up, had it professionally graded, and the results stunned him. MS69 grade. That's one notch below perfect, and with a very specific die variety that matched the rare double die obverse. Collectors went wild. Within a few months, Frank had sold that quarter for $1.68 million to a private buyer. He bought a house on a lake, gifted his daughter a brand new car, and still had enough left over to retire peacefully. That's just one story. A one-off. Well, here's where things really heat up. A coin grading is what separates a lucky find from a life-changing fortune. The difference between a $10 quarter and a $1.7 million quarter comes down to condition and certification. If your 1999 Pennsylvania quarter is graded MS67 or higher and it has a rare error like a double die or off-center strike, you're suddenly in serious money territory. But here's where most people mess up. They clean the coin, scratch it unknowingly, or never get it graded. That's like finding a diamond and using it to cut glass. You destroy the value. If you think your coin might be worth something, do not clean it. Instead, get it to a certified dealer or send it directly to PCGS or NGC for evaluation. Remember, condition is king. It's simple. Rarity drives value. In the coin world, especially among collectors with deep pockets, there's intense demand for the first editions in the 50-state quarter series. Pennsylvania being the second released state adds prestige. Combine that with a mint error and high-grade condition, you've got the ultimate collectible add in market speculation, historic value, and good old American nostalgia, and boom, the price shoots through the roof. Right now, the collectible coin market is on fire. Coins that were valued at $10,000 a decade ago are crossing the $1 million mark. It's a seller's market. And every day you wait, you might be sitting on a goldmine without even knowing it. Even though only a few coins have sold for over $1 million, dozens are still floating around, undiscovered. Grab all your quarters, especially those dated 1999, flip them. Look for the P mint mark above the date, check for visible doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the year. Use a magnifying glass or a digital microscope. You'd be amazed what you might find. If anything looks odd, unique, or especially well preserved, don't spend it. Set it aside immediately, then take clear pictures, contact a local coin shop or reach out to PCGS or NGC online. You could be just a few weeks away from discovering your quarter is worth hundreds of thousands or even $1.7 million. Check rolls of quarters from the bank. Yes, the banks. People deposit old coins all the time without knowing their value. One man in Nebraska found a mint error Pennsylvania quarter in a $10 roll and it sold at auction $4.78000. Listen, you don't need a metal detector or $1 million education to strike it rich. Sometimes, all it takes is a sharp eye and a little curiosity. The 1999 Pennsylvania quarter proves that hidden wealth lives in everyday places: your sock drawer, your glove compartment, or your kid's old piggy bank. And while some are spending quarters on candy or laundry, a lucky few are cashing them in for life-changing fortunes. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who's got a jar of change, and subscribe, because up next, we're diving into another quarter that just sold for over $2 million, and you won't believe where